Hello, I am Deb Coviello, the Drop In CEO. And as always, I'm grateful that you've joined us for another episode of the podcast where week after week I have the most amazing leaders who share their journey, their insights with you, and hopefully inspire you. And I do this work, this podcast, because I sincerely care about providing insights to C suite leaders to help them navigate their challenges and opportunities with confidence. And this week, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Noam Sapiens, who is the president and CTO at EyeQue Corporation, an award winning innovative technology with eye health specific solutions for the everyday consumer and medical professional. And he's going to go into his backstory, but there is a personal side. He is a father of three, enjoys skiing, reading, and innovating. And oh my, has an optic lab in his basement. We'll go there. But I just want to say, Noam, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So, a little bit of context for my audience. Maybe you'll remember a few episodes back, I had the great opportunity to speak to the CEO of EyeQue Corporation's John Seri. It was a wonderful conversation. I've really come to enjoy himself as well as the work this company's doing. And he says, you know what? I'd like you to talk to my my CTO, Noam. I think he has got an equally amazing backstory, and I no doubt I've spoken to him. You are really going to enjoy this conversation. But without further ado, Noam, I'm going to pass it back to you for you to share a bit about yourself personally and the journey that you've been on.
Yeah, thank you. I started innovating, or at least wanting to be an inventor from a very, very young age. Um, I wanted to do things with my hands, build really cool things. Um, I think I told you that last time we spoke. I took apart the first computer that I ever got, and we're talking the 80s here. Took it completely apart. I don't think my dad was very happy about that, but I put it back together and it worked. So innovations and technology has always been a passion of mine. I studied physics. Started at a very young age as well. Started my bachelor's when I was 14. Um, Never actually finished high school, but uh, did my PhD in physics from the Hebrew University in Israel. Worked in a variety of fields. Started in telecom and defense industries for about 15 years, moving to semiconductors for about 10 years, and then spent a little bit of time at Apple. I did not like that too much, but I was there um, until I found EyeQue. I've done other medical device startups before, but I've been with EyeQue now for about 7 years. It's been an incredible journey.
So you have a very long career here and you went through it so quickly, but I will say where there's some parallels here. I too worked in the telecom industry and the defense industry for about 15 years. Before then, I took a pause and then leaped into the chemical industry. So there's a little similarities back here. But oh my, you jumped over the story about starting college at 14. How did that all work out? Why? And kudos to you for being able to do that.
Well, thank you. And actually, I really owe it to my teacher back then. Um, they don't have those too often. I was very lucky to have her. She she saw that I'm, struggling in class, um, but getting straight A's, which means I was extremely bored.
Okay.
And she saw that and she was like, why don't you just go to the university, just take some classes. And I was like, you know what? That's kind of a good idea. They didn't have concurrent enrollment like they do today, and they didn't have all the There are no AP classes or any of
Right.
these kind of things back then, especially not in, as I said, I grew up in Israel, so none of that. So I went to the university and I asked them, can I just take classes? And uh, yeah, sure, go ahead. It's open. You can
Hmm.
do it. Um, about 2 years in, kind of, as I said, it wasn't a standard thing. There was no, it was out the 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 norm of doing something like that. So, um, Ministry of Education did not know what to do. So they kind of told me, no, you have to go back to high school. You have to really attend classes. You can't just leave in the middle of the day just to go take a class at the university. By the way, no remote or anything back then. I actually had to physically
Hmm.
go to the university and actually take classes. And so I I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I dropped out of high school. But I did do all the tests that are necessary to graduate, to get my diploma, basically, just not as part of high school. And then enrolled full time doing my bachelor's in physics. Um, Finished, when I was about 18-ish. Uh,
Got a genius here.
I, as I mentioned, I grew up in Israel. So when you're 18, you join the army. So I did.
Okay. Okay.
I spent 2 years as a gunner in a tank. Incredible experience. Very different from anything else I've ever done in my life. Um, it's been very character building, serving in the army. I think it really made a lot of difference in my career as well,
Hmm.
in the way I handle things, pressure and all. It helps. Um, it puts things in perspective.
Wow.
Um, and then I basically continued working in defense as I was still in the army. Moved from being a gunner in a tank to developing defense systems uh, for the armored corps there. And I've done that. I mean, I finished my um, service, but then I continued doing pretty much the same thing, just as a civilian. I've
Okay.
done that, as I said, for 15 years.
Wow.
Um,
So that's
yeah.
amazing. And then the PhD. So wonderful education. But I do want to jump back a little bit. It's interesting. I talked to somebody yesterday and interviewed them, and they too had done some time, done some time at Apple. So again, I'm sure you learned some things while you were there, but what was it about that situation or culture that may not have been a good fit for you? I'm just curious.
So, um, I did learn a lot. I mean,
Okay.
I learn everywhere I go, and even if I'm there for 10 years, I still learn because
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm one of those people. I need a diversity in my job. Every day is new. Every day
Hmm.
is something new. Even here at EyeQue, I'm every day doing something new. Really, really cool stuff. Um, but at Apple, aside from learning how, really big corporations work, getting to know all the supply chains and all these development efforts that are done at a really, really big company, um, there was not enough innovation for me. Uh, Truly, I mean, I had this experience where um, proposing new ideas was just hit a brick wall and wasn't that's not how I like to operate, and it's not like this is not me. So I end up thinking, what am I really doing here? What is my uniqueness in this company? What can I offer that others cannot? And
Hmm.
it turns out that really not much. And so I was looking very quickly looking for other opportunities, uh, and I found EyeQue, and that is the exact opposite. I mean, I can, everything is new. Everything is innovative. Everything is technology at its cutting edge. Really new things, nothing that people have done before. As I said, I've been with the company for about 7 years now.
Yeah,
We have uh, about 35 patents, 30?
I had
We have
no
30
idea.
granted, and then there are a few in the pipeline.
So, before we go into that, because I do want to spend most of our time highlighting your work at IQ, is the fact that you recognize from a very early age, you're very similar to my son David, marching to your own beat, like, taking the computer apart and putting it back together. Now, my son took things apart, never put them back together again. He too also went in the military and was exactly that exposure experienced, like you say, put things in perspective. But everywhere along the way, you were always reflecting, does this seem like a fit? Does this fuel my soul? Am I doing the creative work that I'm meant to do? And at each time where you reflected, you took a decision to move in another direction. There are so many people out there that might do that gut check, but at the same time, they say, well, I need to be here. I need to stay here. And those may be true, but never following their gut, their heart, their mind on, like, I need to be doing something more purposeful elsewhere. Fast forward, you found IQ, or did they find you? How did you come to be acquainted with the company?
Well, um, a side note before I answer
Sure.
that question, because what you just said is exactly what I tell my kids all the time.
Right.
Follow your dreams. That is, I mean, if you go to study a profession or learn something just because, oh, this is gonna give me a lot of money. This is what my parents are expecting me to do. I should be a lawyer or a doctor or whatever. I'm talking way back then. But um,
I get it. I had that. I had that conversation too. Engineer was okay though.
yeah, well, actually, I chose physics, and it was like, there's no jobs in physics. What are you gonna do? And I'm like, don't worry about it. I'll figure it out. But really, my kids are very different from me. They're not. Most of them are. I mean, I have three, so two out of the three are not very technology kind of direction. Um, but if you follow your passions, you're gonna really succeed no matter what. If you really, really are passionate about something and you put all your effort into it, you're gonna succeed. That's my belief. And I tell that to my kids all the time. And so they get to basically choose whatever they want to really do and what they're really passionate about. And don't try to think, okay, so am I going to be rich out of this? Is this going to be the thing that's going to make me all the money that I need? Money will come no matter what it is that you're learning. If you're passionate about it, you'll be successful and money will come. So, back to your question, how did I get to EyeQue? I actually went on LinkedIn and applied to a job as an optical engineer. I was so I had it with Apple at that time, and I was like, okay, I'll just apply to whatever. Optical engineering is my passion. It's something that I do all the time. I mean, this is what I learned as a physicist. I learned optics. That's my specialty. And I went and applied. Okay, optical engineer, that's fine. I'll be an optical engineer. And I interviewed with John. Um, and he was like, "Nah, we can't do that. Yeah, it's not going to work. I'm going to make you director of hardware and system engineering." And I was like,
Okay.
"Yeah, I mean, it was a very good conversation. I mean, I was scheduled for the interview for about 30 minutes, I think. We ended up talking about 3 hours, roughly. So that kind of made me believe that this is a really good fit, both from I learned a little bit about the company and what they're doing. So I knew they're dealing with vision and they're doing refraction measurements and at home and cutting edge things and really impactful things. So I knew this is something that I'll be interested in. And also I had a lot of experience in the vision space from before.
Right.
Um, and it also felt right from a cultural perspective. So talking to John, really understanding how the company works and what are the expectations and how how the company cares about people and things like that. That really spoke to me. And so I knew that it was a good thing. And apparently John knew that it was a good match as well. Um, and I started as director of hardware and system engineering. About 3 months into the job, we were talking about, clinical trials, regulatory affairs, and I had a lot of experience from that angle as well. And he was like, so, um, yeah, you'll have to deal with these things too, but we'll have to make you VP of something. And I was like, how about VP of Science and Technology? That sounds good enough. Uh, and so about 3 months into the job, I ended up becoming VP of Science and Technology. About, I don't know, maybe 3.5 years after that, I became CTO. And about 2 years ago, I also took the title of president of the company as well. So really a lot of good things happened at EyeQue over the years. Um, it's a remarkable company, really, both from a technology and what it can do for humanity and society in general, but also as a company and how it handles people and the opportunities that you're given when you're in that company. It's a remarkable place, really.
So let me ask one question backwards before we go forward in introducing my audience a little bit about the impactful work that you're doing that can impact humanity. Given that John is the CEO and now you are the CTO and president, how does that dynamic work? Because now you've got two high level leaders at the top, and how does it work? Because sometimes it could be synergy, sometimes it could be healthy confrontation. What are your like distinct roles? How do you guys make it work, given that you have tremendous responsibility?
Well, so it's very, very collaborative. I
Okay.
mean, me and John, we work together very, very well. Uh, Sometimes too well. We end up coming up with new ideas every time we talk, and so
Uh-oh.
that could be, yeah, that could be problematic. Um, but we we're very focused. We have procedures. We know exactly what we want to achieve. And when we disagree, that happens. We work it through. And I mean, there are a lot of back and forth, and we can try something, and it doesn't work, then we'll try something else. It's the advantage of having a company with this level of flexibility and this level of innovation and ability and willingness to take risks. Uh,
That's beautiful.
it's yeah, it's really
So
remarkable.
So again, that is reason why we're talking because again, I felt that coming from John and grateful I have the opportunity to have your story be shared as well. But for those who are not well acquainted with the impactful work that IQ does, can you broadly and then maybe a little bit of detail explain how it is that you're helping humanity?
Absolutely. So, vision problems. It's a global problem. If you look at all the statistics, They say basically by 2050, more than 50% of the world population are going to need some form of correction for their vision. Um, Maybe it's more than 50%. Um, we're talking about billions of people that need glasses. The biggest problem is that there aren't enough eye doctors out there. There just aren't enough. Um, Today in the United States alone, there are 200 million people every year that need to see an eye doctor. Only 100 million actually do it. Only 100 million actually go and see the eye doctor. The other 100 million either don't have time, don't have means, don't have a doctor nearby. There are people that have that their nearest eye doctor is about maybe 100 to 200 miles away from them. Um, that is a big problem. But on the other hand, it's actually lucky for us. Well, lucky
Hmm.
because when you actually consider the amount of doctors you have, um, you don't have enough doctors. If actually everybody that needs to go to see an eye doctor actually goes and sees an eye doctor or actually tries to seek seeing an eye doctor every year, the system will collapse. There's just not enough doctors out there to handle the load of the amount of people that need it.
Mm.
So what EyeQue provides is a different solution. Take responsibility for your own health. You're doing it already with heart, so blood pressure monitors or something you can get. You have those smartphones that measure your pulse,
Yep.
their oximeters, they measure all sort of things. Your you know, if you have diabetes, you monitor your glucose at home. You don't
Hmm.
go to the doctor every time you need to measure your blood sugar. Um, and so there are so many things out there. I mean, even if you have trouble hearing, you go and you get hearing aids. You can get them at any pharmacy. You don't even need to go to the doctor for those. Um, all of these capabilities, and now with more remote and virtual healthcare, for example, I have not seen my doctor like in real life, went to an actual office, I would say probably 7 to 8 years now, even
Okay.
before COVID,
Hmm.
not going to see any doctors. I email them. We have Zoom calls like now.
Hmm.
Um, I, text even works with some doctors. It's so much easier. It's more convenient. And it's cheaper. Really, even if you have insurance, it's a lot cheaper to do a virtual visit than actually going to the doctor.
Hmm.
With all this technology, I mean, why not do the same for vision? You need, most of the time, what you actually need is just a pair of glasses. Um, yeah, you probably need to do other tests to kind of see
Right.
that your eye health is good, but you don't need to do them as often, and especially not when you're very young,
Hmm.
right? What EyeQue provides are little devices like this one and this one, tiny little,
Right.
you see, very they can fit in my pocket, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
connect to your smartphone,
Uh-huh.
and you can um, do a test at home at your own time, let's say after the kids go to sleep.
Hmm.
Um, you don't need to schedule, you don't need to drive, you don't need to take time off work. You can do everything from home. You can take all these measurements. Um, EyeQue, actually, we just launched a new product called Verai. So we actually use these devices with AI and tailor the tests specifically to your needs. And so the test becomes a lot faster. It becomes more accurate because you don't feed it like junk information. So you actually it it's specifically for you. And that test now allows you to go through a whole process. So we actually handhold you through the whole process. So you don't need to, try and figure out things by yourself. Work with us. We'll work with you. You will do these tests. You'll get the numbers that you need. We will send you a pair of what we call try-on glasses, which are glasses that are based on your measurements. So you can actually test and actually see how well they work for you. Again, these are measurements that you're taking for yourself. So you want to make sure that before you're going to spend 400 or 500 or how many hundreds of dollars you're going to spend on a pair of glasses, these numbers really work for you. So we actually provide that service. We provide this try-on glasses. So these are frames with lenses that are specifically for you. You don't get to choose the frames, so that's the only thing. But
Of course.
no, um, some people actually like them because they look like a Harry Potter. They're round Potter glasses. And then you'll do a visual acuity test. So we provide that measurement as well. So a visual acuity test is a measurement of how well do you see? And you can do that measurement with glasses, without glasses. But when we do it with the glasses and it gives you numbers like 20/20, I think everybody knows what 20/20 is.
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
means normal vision. If you get a number like 20/20, then you know that these glasses are good for you because you can see well with them now. Then we will take all your data. Everything that you're doing actually goes directly into our digital platform. It's stored there, and all that information will go to an eye care provider uh, that will review everything. And if everything is good, they will issue a prescription for you. And you didn't even need to leave your house.
That is absolutely amazing. And this innovation is already available or still being
No,
tested?
it is available.
So,
EyeQue.com and just click on the Variety tab there and you will see it.
so this is so disruptive. And one would say, with all, as you say, the self care that you can provide yourself with all of these other monitoring devices, how is it that this has not been done before? Or is it being done? Are you leading the pack? Is there competition? Because again, this is highly disruptive. I feel like you should be on the news circuit or all this stuff. So talk to me about the landscape right now of such a disruptive technology. Why now? Why hasn't it been done before? And what does your competition look like?
So why now? IQ has been around for quite a while now. So the first device has been out in 2017. The
Okay.
biggest challenge is that this is innovative technology. Um, it is not easy to really do these kind of measurements, especially since these measurements are subjective. They're not like when you take a blood pressure, this is an objective measurement. You do nothing. The,
Hmm.
the device does the work for you. Um, with with vision, it's a subjective measurement because you need to tell us, do you see? Even when you go to a doctor,
Yes.
the doctor doesn't actually do a measurement. They put a few lenses in front of you and just ask you, do you see well? You're the one that tells the doctor, yes, I can see. It's not that the doctor figures out how you see. It's actually you're saying to the doctor, this is how I see. And nobody else can figure out how well you see except you. So this measurement being subjective requires some effort from people to actually do do the measurement and actually provide the information
Information.
to the
Yeah.
system,
Yeah.
which means that we needed to really build a process that it's easy for people to follow.
And
And it's
educate and
and
educate. Let
exactly,
people
and
know.
that's what this new product, this Vari product, exactly does. And it took a while because you kind of have to think about all the possibilities, and
Okay.
you have to, and with AI today, it becomes a lot easier.
Okay. Okay.
So that's what AI does. It actually helps us tailor the test to the particular person in the way they're doing the measurements, which
Giving
makes
that
it
power back to the
shorter.
person. Yeah.
And making it shorter also helps because people, if I tell you you need to do this, it's going to take you half an hour to do by yourself. People are like, "Ah, I don't know
Eh.
about that. I don't know if I want to do it." Um, Even though, by the way, when you go to the eye doctor, it takes more than half an hour. But
Oh, I know, for all the tests and the sitting and all that stuff.
but
Absolutely.
when you're doing something yourself, you're like, I don't have the patience for this. And that's kind of human nature. So we built it and we dropped the time. I mean, right now you can take a measurement for each eye is like on average, it's about 5 minutes. A lot faster.
A lot faster. So, this is absolutely amazing what you can do for people. So, then when we think about education and getting you on the map, like what are the efforts now for which you're trying to get your voice, your technology not out such that consumers can say, I want to try that. Find your early adopters. How is that all working? And again, hopefully this podcast helps a little bit as well.
Absolutely. So that's exactly the point. When people say, "Oh, I don't see well," their initial thought is, "I should go see an eye doctor." That's the first thing that comes to mind. I should
Right.
probably schedule a time with my optometrist. If you're really advanced, it'll be like, I should probably head to Walmart or Costco and do an eye exam there. That's kind of like, oh, I don't need to really schedule everything,
Mhm.
but even then, it takes time. They might ask you to come back later, or the optometrist is not in, or
Mhm.
there are so many issues that can come up with this. Um, we need to increase awareness of
Right.
not of EyeQue, not that EyeQue is your solution, of the fact that eye care can be done
Yes.
remotely too. When you think of, oh, I don't see well, or my prescription expired, or I need to get a new pair of glasses, we need to change the way people think and have them think, you know what, I can do this myself. I'll just,
Self-serve. Yeah.
yeah, I can figure out how to do this, and now I'll just do it like you do when you're like, oh, I need to figure out my blood pressure because I need to monitor. I'm taking these pills or those pills,
I
and
mean,
I
how do we get
monitor.
these on the shelves at all the different pharmacies? Like you say, you get your glucose monitor, your thermometer, all of that. How do we get this on the shelves such that it just becomes mainstream? And I'm sure that's something you and John are working on right now.
That's exactly what we're working on right now. So again, EyeQue we're a small company. We would love to really partner with the big companies out there. Um, and there are so many options for call it distribution to
So
the
that's how you'll
masses,
get
right?
your lift.
Yeah.
Leverage the power of some of the larger distribution, more recognized brands.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay.
So there are you mentioned pharmacies, so we would love to partner with any pharmacy that would love to work with us. We can do it with retail stores. It doesn't have to be a pharmacy. We can work with online retailers for glasses, or
Hmm.
even glasses stores that are out there. We actually have our aside from our consumer type products, we have a B2B side of the business where we have professional level devices, as well as the digital platform that enables all the communications, telehealth, ability to do all these tests remotely, um, where the doctor
Healthcare
sits
systems, healthcare
somewhere.
systems. Yeah.
Yeah.
But how
So
do you even
IQ
navigate
provides all that.
healthcare systems with all the coding and getting qualified as a solution. Wow, you have a tremendous opportunity ahead of you.
Absolutely.
Oh my
Absolutely.
god. Oh my god. I am so excited for instance, I'm a disruptor. I I am always against the status quo. As a child, I would always say, "Why? Why? Why?" And I mean, I remember in high school, the kids telling me, "Deb, stop asking why. See the teacher after class." But I had this curiosity. I need to know now. And so as I think about what you and John do as a disruption for society, for the betterment of humanity, I can't wait to see where you will go. Who will be that early adopter, whether it's individuals, organizations, service providers, to be able to say, we now need this because there is a population that is underserved and that is so impactful, your work. I can't say enough about it, but I am going to stop talking and send it back to you for just a few closing thoughts that maybe you want to share with my audience.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. I think that, what IQ does is really unique. We're the only company out there that has the technology to really do the measurements that will give you the numbers that you need for your glasses. No other company does that. There are other companies, you asked about competition. There are other companies that provide some services in terms of remote. There are prescription renewals, but that means you already need to have a prescription. You actually
Right,
need to have the pair of glasses that work with that prescription.
right.
Um, Whereas we provide a full solution for people to really do the measurement by themselves, get the numbers basically from scratch, all the way to getting a prescription and getting glasses. So really what IQ provides is a unique solution to everybody that has eyes, basically, which is a lot of people. But we, one more thing before I give it back to you, we really want to work with everybody that wants to work with us. That includes eye doctors. We're not here to replace eye doctors. We're here to augment and help them actually, because as I said, if everybody that needs to go see an eye doctor actually goes and sees an eye doctor, the system will collapse. There are not enough eye doctors out there. So IQ is here to help and really augment what eye doctors can do, just enhance their services.
So
And
I am
we work
so
with the eye doctors. I mean, we really want to continue working with eye doctors.
it's complementary, it's disruptive and complementary, and as you said, augments the human experience. I am just so thrilled to have known you, continue to know you, because I'm saying to myself, a year from two now, I'm going to have both you and John back on the show to talk about the amazing success. But a bit to my listeners right now, if you happen to know anybody at all that might be supportive of disruption, of innovation, all in the spirit of helping humanity for people to enjoy good eye health. Please, please reach out to Noam Sapiens or reach out to me and I'll connect you because I really love the work that you and John are doing and really making a huge impact. So absolutely amazing. And I just so appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you very much.
All right, be well. Thanks.